They told you Tupac was just a rapper who got caught up in gang violence and died young. They sold you the story of a talented kid from the streets who made it big, then threw it all away. But what if I told you that Tupac Shakur wasn't predicting the future in his music? He was describing a machine that was already running, and America treated him like a terrorist for it. What if the real story is that he tried to warn you about how the system works, how it divides people while the money flows upward, and how it turns even revolution into a product you can buy? Today, we're diving into the man they didn't want you to understand.
You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush.
June 16, 1971. A baby is born in East Harlem, New York. His mother, Afeni Shakur, had been acquitted of conspiracy charges just 1 month earlier. She wasn't just any young mother. She was a Black Panther who had spent 2 years in jail defending herself in court while pregnant. The case was called the Panther 21. 21 Panthers accused of planning to bomb department stores and police stations in New York. All of them were acquitted, but the message was sent. The FBI wanted the world to know, if you organize Black people, we will destroy your life. This is the world that shaped Tupac Amaru Shakur, named after an 18th century revolutionary who fought Spanish colonizers in Peru. His godmother, Assata Shakur, was on the FBI's most wanted list. His stepfather, Mutulu Shakur, was a revolutionary who ended up in prison for decades. This wasn't a family that taught him to respect authority. This was a family that taught him to question everything. By the time Tupac was making records in the early 1990s, he wasn't just rapping about the streets, he was rapping about the machine. Listen to his early interviews, not just his music. This man could break down the connection between poverty and military spending like a political science professor. He would point out that America could fund wars overseas, but couldn't fund schools in the inner city. He saw the patterns, rich people getting richer, while poor people fought each other over scraps. And this is exactly how they get away with it. By the way, if you want more hidden stories like this, subscribe to Black Stories Untold. Now, back to what happened next. The FBI was watching. Documents released after Tupac's death show they had files on him, not just because of criminal cases. They were monitoring him because they understood something most people missed. This wasn't just entertainment. This was political education reaching millions of young people who had been written off by mainstream politics. They saw a young Black man with a platform, talking about revolution, and they remembered what happened when his mother's generation organized. But here's where Tupac's genius showed. He didn't just critique the system, he tried to build something. In 1992, he created something called Thug Life. Not just a slogan, but an actual code of conduct. THUGLIFE, the hate you give. Little infants messes up everybody. You see what he did there? He took a word society used to dismiss young Black men and turned it into a systemic analysis. The hate you give to children comes back to destroy the whole community. The code reportedly had 26 points. No harming children, no targeting innocent people, redirect the violence away from the community. Tupac was trying to organize gang members in Los Angeles after the 1992 uprising. He was attempting to broker truces between Bloods and Crips. This man was doing community organizing disguised as rap music. Think about that for a second. While politicians talked about being tough on crime, Tupac was actually working with the people committing the crimes. He understood something they refused to admit. You can't arrest your way out of poverty and desperation. You have to organize your way out. But the system had a different plan for Tupac. Legal troubles started piling up. Assault charges, sexual abuse conviction in 1994, multiple arrests. And here's the thing, some of these charges were legitimate. Tupac wasn't perfect. He was caught in the same cycles of violence he was trying to break. But notice how quickly his legal problems became the story. Not his political message, not his organizing work, just the criminal cases. Then came November 30th, 1994. Quad Recording Studios in Manhattan. Tupac was shot 5 times in a robbery. He survived, went to court the next day, and was convicted of sexual abuse. From there, everything accelerated. The East Coast-West Coast beef that dominated headlines, the feuds with other rappers, the violence. But even from prison, Tupac kept talking politics. His album, Me Against the World, came out while he was incarcerated. The title wasn't just personal, it was analysis. One young black man against an entire system designed to crush him. Death Row Records bailed him out in October 1995.
Suge Knight's label, with connections to gangs and violence. Tupac signed with them because he needed protection and resources, but it pulled him deeper into the conflicts that would end his life. The irony was brutal. The system he criticized had cornered him into choices that proved his point about how violence gets redirected inward. September 7th, 1996, Las Vegas. After a Mike Tyson fight, Tupac was shot multiple times in a drive-by shooting. He died 6 days later, 25 years old. The murder remains officially unsolved, though an arrest was made in 2023. But here's what happened next. This is where everything connects. Within months of his death, Tupac became a brand. Posthumous albums were released. His image was licensed. T-shirts, posters, documentaries, biopics. The same entertainment industry that had marginalized his political message was now selling his rebellion back to you. But notice what they emphasized. The outlaw image, the thug life aesthetic, the beef with Biggie, the mystery of his death. What got lost? The anti-capitalist analysis, the community organizing, the connection between militarism and poverty, the FBI surveillance, the fact that he was trying to turn gang members into revolutionaries. All of that got edited out of the official story. This is how the machine neutralizes dangerous voices. It doesn't have to silence you if it can sell a sanitized version of you back to the public. Tupac, the product, became bigger than Tupac, the revolutionary. They turned his rebellion into a costume you could buy at the mall. But the conditions he warned about kept getting worse. Wealth inequality has exploded since 1996. The prison population doubled, then tripled. Military spending increased while schools crumbled. Police violence continued, but now everyone had cameras to record it. Surveillance expanded from targeting Black Panthers to monitoring everyone's text messages and social media posts. Meanwhile, young people were buying Tupac t-shirts and thinking they understood his message. But did they know about the 26-point code? Did they understand that thug life was a critique of how society treats children? Did they know his mother was a Black Panther? Most had never heard those parts of the story. This is the genius of American capitalism. It can absorb any criticism, package it, and sell it back to you with the teeth removed. Tupac told you the system was rigged, so they sold you Tupac, the brand, and made money off your anger. Look at what happened in 2012. They created a hologram of Tupac to perform at Coachella Music Festival. Think about that image. A dead revolutionary brought back as digital projection, entertaining rich kids at a corporate music festival. They literally turned him into a ghost they could control. The ultimate commodification. But here's what they couldn't kill. The message is still there. In his interviews, his lyrics, his analysis. If you look past the merchandise and the mythology, you can still find the man who connected the dots between poverty and war, between racism and capitalism, between individual violence and systemic violence. Tupac understood that racism isn't just hatred, it's a tool. It keeps working people divided while wealth flows upward. It makes poor white people blame poor black people instead of rich people. It turns neighborhoods into war zones so communities can't organize for better schools, jobs, and housing. He saw how the system works: create conditions that guarantee violence, then use that violence to justify more control. Defund schools but fund prisons. Cut social programs but increase police budgets. Then act surprised when communities tear themselves apart. And when someone like Tupac tries to explain this, what happens? First, they ignore you. Then they criminalize you. Then they kill you. Then they sell your image back to the people you were trying to organize. But the machine he described is still running. The same politicians who called him dangerous are still voting for military spending while cutting food assistance. The same system that surveilled him is now monitoring everyone's phones. The same media that focused on his legal troubles instead of his political message is still choosing which black voices get amplified and which get buried. The difference is, now we have the receipts, FBI documents, video interviews, the full catalog of his political statements. We can see the pattern, how they neutralized Malcolm, how they neutralized the Panthers, how they neutralized Tupac.
always the same playbook: surveillance, legal harassment, media manipulation, violence, then commodification. So what would recovering Tupac's real message look like? Stop confusing symbolism for power. Stop buying revolution at the mall. Start building the communities he was pointing toward, the kind where children don't grow up in hate, where violence gets directed at systems, not at each other, where people organize economically instead of just protesting politically. Study what he actually said, not what they printed on the t-shirt. Build mutual aid networks. Create independent media. Develop economic cooperation that doesn't depend on them, because symbols won't protect you from eviction. Hashtags won't stop police violence, and buying Tupac merchandise won't bring back the revolutionary they killed. This was Black Stories Untold, and as always, thanks for watching. If you want more stories like this, click the video on your screen now.